do this. Alrighty, yeah, awesome. So yeah, great to see you. We're both wearing yellow. Very nice. Yeah, how are things? How are you keeping there? Blake Freeze? Is it Frizz?
Yeah,
Frizzy
yeah,
hair?
free. Uh-huh. Uh, yeah, it was good. Yesterday I had a really nice day.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it was amazing. Really nice day. Uh, Visited some friends up in the mountains.
Ah,
Not quite the
beautiful.
mountains, but like there's a town like about hour and a half away from where I live, and it's kind of like right next to the mountains. So yeah, I got some really nice hiking. Yeah,
Awesome.
really nice hiking. A lot of
Ah,
sun. Yeah.
ah, you can't beat that, eh? I know. I loved it that as well so much. I did that 2 days ago. One of my friends had a lovely, lovely long nature walk. So it feels nice, doesn't it, when the weather's nice to get out in nature?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love
Mhm.
it. Um,
So yeah,
yeah,
how's everything been the last like week since we last spoke on this call of ours, the weekly live Zoom calls and my soulmate relationship and health mastery community.
sure, sure. Yeah. It's been good. I don't know. I think maybe the sun gazing is helping me.
Oh, sun
I
gazing is
feel
amazing.
I, I feel like it's kind of reducing my cravings a little bit
Yeah, yeah, awesome.
and
Nice.
maybe
Active.
helping me be a little more focused at work.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, like the hormonal boost. And who knows what we get? I don't even know what we fully get. I'm not sure who knows what we fully get. It's hard to say, but I know we get a lot out of the sun if it touches our skin or we like sun gaze the first or last half hour to an hour of the day as well.
Uh-huh.
How long
Yeah.
have you been sun for?
I have been maybe like a week now.
Ah, okay. And how many minutes per day?
I don't know. I'm not really counting. Just kind of
A few minutes,
going
yeah.
out there and yeah.
No, me too,
Uh,
me too. I do as well.
yeah. Um, but I've heard that it's like um, like in astrology, if you have a weak sun, if you'll just simply get up before sunrise, that will strengthen your the sun in your chart, you know?
Oh, really?
Um,
Ah,
yeah, yeah.
just,
Yeah, and
just
if you have a strong sun, it makes your whole life better in
oh,
your chart. Yeah.
oh, really? Ah, it's just everything about the sun is always very positive, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. 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 They say just by waking up before the sunrise, you get a lot of blessings in life.
Ah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I like to get up early and be blessed, and I love the sun so
Uh-huh.
much. Especially if you get up early, you can see the sunrise, do some sun gazing. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't really like quantify it, but I feel like that's helping me.
Yeah, yeah. I
Definitely feel
know. I
like that's helping me.
feel it. It's hard to quantify these type of things, like unless you're literally measuring yourself a lot.
Right.
You know,
Uh,
with
but
Brian
yeah,
Johnson.
yeah, I kept eating light. Even we visited our friends and they're from India, they're like real good cooks. But I didn't take any rice. I didn't take
Ah,
any bean soup. I just had some salad and like
yeah,
a little bit of vegetables on top of the salad, and I felt
yeah.
so much better.
Yeah, I know. Like it's not about deprivation or I couldn't do this, I wasn't able to do this or I wasn't allowed to do this. It's like what do I want to do and how do I want to feel? Like what do I want to get out of my choices in life? And the choices we apply to everything in life. Where we go, who we spend time with, what we eat, what we drink, what time we go to
Uh-huh.
bed. Yeah. So yeah, it's nothing about like lacking or deprivation, consciousness or feelings or thoughts. It's just about like how am I going to love myself and look after myself so I can feel or achieve the way I want to feel and achieve. Yes, and then it's a positive, good feeling. All right, I'm happy to have some salad and some vegetables. I'm not missing out on or losing out by not having beans. So you
Yeah,
don't want to do things without like lack, scarcity, sad, deprivation type of thoughts, feelings, and consciousness because that doesn't really fit doesn't serve our highest good and it's hard or maybe impossible to maintain that if that's where we're
sure.
coming from. So yeah. And
Yeah,
socializing
maybe.
is interesting because like if socializing was just about socializing, it would be about the people we're with. It wouldn't matter what we're drinking or eating. if it was about the people. If we're getting together to eat, that's a different story.
Uh-huh.
If we're getting together because we love each other's company, food is not included in that. It doesn't have to be the case. So
Right.
there's a fine line and a mixing of these things. We have a certain degree of, everyone has a certain degree of attachment to certain foods or habits and patterns with food and consumption. So it's good to question this within ourselves, like why are we meeting up? Because like people literally, some people, so many of us get together and sabotage ourselves with food, or we feel sick or tired or wrecked after it. Like the whole idea after a big meal you have to go sleep because you're so tired. It's stereotypical at Christmas, but people even get together to take drugs. Literally hang out to take drugs with other drug users, which is like
Uh-huh.
more inappropriate or unconventional or less socially acceptable. But getting together for food, but pretending saying you're socializing and it's just a social event, you have to
Uh-huh.
question that. Can you go there to socialize without the food or a different food that doesn't make you feel tired? Then that will separate. Are you getting together to share food that brings people down together, or getting together to enjoy each other's company? And ironically, when we have food that brings us down and saps our energy and drains us or makes us acidic and tired, then we won't enjoy each other's company. We often just want to go home, go fall asleep, stop talking, or go on our phones, just veg out because we're so drained from having a big meal that's inappropriate, like not very suitable for the human body's health. It may be suitable for our emotional discomfort and dealing with our own emotional pain or boredom or sadness or isolation or not meeting our own needs in life. So we're eating to numb ourselves. It's suitable for that, at least in the moment, but it wouldn't be necessarily suitable for happy socializing because if we feel sick or drained or tired or bloated or after a meal that's not very human friendly, then we're not social anymore. I've seen it with loads of people, like over and over and over again. I've seen it myself, I've seen it with other people. We just want to go home, curl under a rock, or go in bed, or be zone out on our phone for hours, potentially. And all the socializing can stop within a half an hour to an hour after the meal when we start to digest it and it starts to get in our system. And
Uh-huh.
people start to yawn within a half an hour to an hour. And then people just want to go home shortly after that because not feeling good anymore. And the fun and happy playfulness and the games and the socializing kind of comes to an abrupt end between 45 minutes to an hour and a quarter after having a meal. So often is the case I've seen.
Oh
So
yeah, I never noticed that.
it's funny to think about it. What am I doing? Am I socializing with people and I don't need any food, or maybe a juice, or maybe a salad, or maybe a light meal? Or am I getting together to have a whole load of stuff and then I'm feeling wrecked and then I want to go home? I'm not able to listen and I'm not able to talk properly either. And I'm not inspired to talk and I'm not inspired to listen.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, like, just life is funny in its totality. I find everything, all this type of thing amusing and funny. But it's nice. I love the truth, and it's nice to identify the truth at the same time. So I can deal with the truth and what we want to do, be, and where we want to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Right or wrong, I'm not criticizing anyone. Like I've been on both sides of the coins innumerable times.
Of
But
course, yeah.
you inspired me because you mentioned you didn't feel like you felt less tired, I suppose, is pretty much what I felt you were saying. You felt a little bit better in your body for having a lighter meal. It's more human friendly, and you felt good after it. You're probably in a really good mood. Like the less we drain our energy, the better the mood we're
Uh-huh.
in. The less we irritate our body, the better mood we're in. The more social we are, and the more happy and fun, playful we are.
Right, right, makes sense.
Not
I mean,
you
I
know.
felt like, yeah, I felt like, I'm just getting started, so I'm kind of like I have some kind of like, detox symptoms, so maybe I get a little grumpy here and there, but I definitely feel like all these choices are like bringing me to a brighter future, you know?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, yeah, I'm happy for you. Yeah, and like detoxing, I think undereating is probably the biggest thing we could do. Is it's better not to undereat or like get like too low on eating or drinking when we're trying to like detox. Don't detox too fast. You can detox at a very nice rate and a very long-term sustainable rate by just simply eating more appropriately and um just listen to your body and not going over the edge too much, especially for socializing. The edge
Right.
where you get enough calories of food and you're lacking energy and you're in a bit of a mental slump and it's hard to listen and it's hard to talk. You don't want to go down that avenue either, really, especially if you're with people.
Yeah.
to just eat enough. I bet did you feel I bet you probably felt fine after a salad and some veggies though. I bet you probably didn't feel like tired or in a slump, I'm guessing, did you?
No, actually, I probably overate a little bit. Actually, I felt a little bit tired, but that
Hard
was
not
because I think I ate too much. But
hard not, my friend, hard not to. It's a challenge. I know, I get you. Me,
yeah,
me too.
but at
But at
least,
least you overate the food.
yeah, yeah. And
Me feel
and
exhausted, to be honest.
it went
Even
away.
get
It went away. Yeah, I got my energy back a lot faster.
yeah, when
Um,
like and
yeah, I got
coping
my
with
energy back a lot faster. I still felt light. Um, and then also, yeah, you can recognize, uh, you know, I should have stopped at this point. I should have,
it's a journey.
and you can, yeah, yeah. It takes a lot of practice,
Oh yeah, it's loads of repetitive practice. Yeah, same in relationships. Takes lots of repetitive practice.
right? I think I did that big juice fast was 43 days in summer 2021, and when I broke the fast, I broke it too fast. Uh, you
A
know,
lot to that.
and then it was like at a time where we were moving across from Colorado to Arizona, and it was a little stressful. And
Yeah.
then I kind of like start to drink coffee more. Then I start to drink also instead of coffee with oat milk, coffee with like cream because that's what I
Uh,
like, you know, and a lot of
yeah.
sugar. And I said, oh, I'll just try it for right now just to get me through this tough period. Uh, and that went on until like a month and a half ago, so
Yeah.
like two
So
years. And
2 years was it?
yeah, 2 years. And
Yeah,
but I had these moments while I was doing that juice fast, just like unbelievable energy, you know?
for
And I
sure.
I was like, oh, now I know what to do. Okay, I'll just take a little break, but I'll just like hop right back into it. But it took
Yeah,
me so long to get into it. But now
I
I
know.
think I'm going to be able to, because now I'm going slower, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
And you
now
could
I'm
always
still eating.
do a day or two of juice, and I bet you'd be able to go back to your eating habits if you wanted to.
Right, yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
too hard
it can be,
to put a half a day or a quarter, third of a day on liquids or juice, especially liquids, because that incorporates other liquids like almond milk or homemade milk or a raw vegan
sure.
soup, or a smoothie. Juice is the lightest after water. So yeah, I think developing eating habits is probably the hardest thing to do because instead of doing something abrupt and big, and
Uh-huh.
then you have to fall back. But yeah, you felt what it's like, and so everyone glows on a juice feast. I know they have up and down days, especially sometimes down days. But other than that, when they're having their good days, I see like so many people glowing on juice feasts. Like it kind of really lends to the idea and the feeling that like when people say we're like optimally we are some people many people say, and I'm happy to believe it or think of it, at least I'm happy to entertain the idea that we were originally breatharians and then we fell to liquidarians, then to like frugivores and raw foodists, and then to like cooked food, and then to like vegan, and then to cooked vegan and vegetarian cooked food, and then to omnivore or carnivore cooked food. And that is like, some people say it's the fall from grace. But grace just means like our optimal well-being, body, mind, spirit, and emotion. So people get a glimpse of what it's like to live off the fuel of liquids, like putting it, do you know, we put in like the fuel into our car, like it's liquid. So we
Oh,
put in
yeah,
liquid.
right.
Amazing. Here's our little,
Yeah.
it goes in amazing. It's really awesome. It's powerful stuff. So far today, it's 1:31 now, which isn't very late in the day. But I've just had this green smoothie and around this much juice with just a
Uh-huh.
few little things in the juice, like orange, cucumber, zucchini, or courgette, and then a little bit of cilantro or coriander, depending on which nation you're
Mhm.
from, and also a little bit of organic spinach. And it was both of these were like this, and the juice was like amazing. I feel really good. Yeah. And yesterday I had a salad and I had some like raw vegan chocolate, triangle. Um, but yeah, for the last 7 days, I've been having probably 85% just liquids. Yeah,
Wow.
maybe 90% liquids, possibly, probably 90%, maybe close enough to 90%. So I've been feeling really good on it and enjoying it a lot, except I accidentally overdid chlorella and spirulina and even nettle leaf powder. So someone doing kinesiology who's a psychic with claircognizance, said ditch the spirulina for 3 months, take a break. No, take a break from chlorella for 3 months, take a break from spirulina for 2 months because it's having a bit too much. Too much of the repetitive greens. You're supposed to maybe alternate or like what's the word? Alternate, the greens we take. Otherwise, maybe the plant alkaloids or too much of the thing can be in one for our body for too often. So she also said that take a break from nettle leaf as well. So in this one, I just had some organic spinach, and that's the only green I had. So in the smoothie,
Ah,
the smoothie was the bomb. It was bananas, dates, vanilla protein powder by Sun Warrior, and then organic spinach. So tasty. I mean, my wife loved it too. I'm
wow.
just saying, it's easy to go. Like it was like as much easier than I thought. You can even go and cooked liquidarian, like have some cooked blended soups. You can do whatever you want or raw vegan soups. It's pretty flexible. You can have hot tea, coffee, hot chocolate, like sauce, blended soups, dips. You can even have like kind of pretty monoform ice cream. So there's a lot of options. Like it's kind of like the idea of imagine the fuel is liquid instead of like solid bites that are a bit dry and chewy and thick and heavy bites. It's like imagine the
Yeah.
fuel to feed our car. It's just all liquid instead of like solids and bits and bobs. But I did eat a salad yesterday, like I said, it was nice. It's nice. Like I'm just feeling it out. I just feel called to it. My body loves it. Except I didn't feel good after having too many greens. And the minute I stopped that day, the next day I felt fantastic again. So I went
Uh-huh.
feeling great, better, switching from a raw vegan like general overall food and drinks to just liquids. Felt better, 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 better. The same, worse, worse. Okay, then I'm giving up worse for maybe 3.5 days, and then I gave up those greens that weren't suiting my body because having too much of it. Then I'm feeling really good again. I'm just the only
Uh-huh.
reason saying it is just in case, be aware of potentially having too much of the same thing, especially if it's like a herb or a green, like a strong green,
Uh-huh.
so yeah, little
Okay.
pitfalls, little small pitfalls.
So I should mix up my greens more, huh?
Yeah, probably, yeah,
I
just
don't take
alternate.
spirulina or chlori how do you say it?
But your
Chlorella?
body, your body will tell you, if you're feeling something's off, then you might want to think about, am I having too much of something or too little of something? Too little of
Ah,
something is
right.
little food, but
Uh-huh.
too little drink if you're thirsty, dehydrated. But too much could be a few different type of things. I'm having something that's irritating me or bothering me or that type of thing. So
Yeah.
I like your green
Um,
plant above your head. Is that part
uh,
of your diet? I like your plants. Love them.
yeah, we have a big window here. We took
Ah,
a bunch of
lovely.
plants over to my mom's house so they can get more sun during the summer. You can only
Ah,
do that for like a few months in Colorado. In Arizona, you can leave your plants out all year round.
wow.
Every once in a while, they'll send out an announcement on the news or the radio. It's going to be like 32 or something. Everybody cover your plants. And then people put like little boxes over their plants or they'll put sheets over their plants just for
Is
the
it
morning.
from the frost in
From
Colorado?
the frost, yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So in Colorado, it gets cold like September. In
Ah,
Arizona, it gets cold like end of November, and then it warms up again in February.
okay. That's nice. I like that. Short enough winter.
It's like being on vacation. Oh my gosh. I miss it.
I drove through Arizona. It's really nice and warm. Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
nice. They say the plants are really good for being indoors, giving us more fresher air, more oxygen, and just nicer, higher vibrations as well.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have to move our apartment in a few weeks. Actually, life is gonna get real busy in 3 weeks or so.
Ah,
But I'm
you're
trying to
moving.
prepare better right now.
So
So
what was the
yeah.
last thing you said?
Uh, I'm sorry, what?
You're moving house, moving apartment in 3 weeks to a different place?
Yeah. Yeah. When we signed this lease, we didn't know, but now our apartment building is kicking everyone out. They're not renewing anyone's lease and
Ah,
they're like
okay.
renovating all the units so they can charge more money. And
Well,
so, yeah. And also, we live right by a hospital, and I think they're gonna mostly do like they put like little codes on the door, and then they just have travel nurses come. The travel
makes
nurses
sense.
pay a little more. They like
Ah,
furnish the
okay.
apartment, and then the travel nurses come. But it'll be
Yeah,
okay. We found a new place, which is going to be quieter. and it's right next to my
Wow.
son's school, and it's right next to
Oh
a big
wow.
park. Yeah. But
Oh
right
really?
now we live like walking distance by the Hare Krishna temple, which is like our
Ah,
spiritual home, you know? That's like our main interest in life, um,
ah,
besides work and
that's
family.
nice.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
we're a little sad about that. We're like maybe 10, 15 minute drive more away, but everything else is
Yeah.
better. Everything else is better.
That's what, yeah, I hear you. I get that. That's, the pros and cons. Everything has pros and cons. But did you say you're only 10, 15 minutes drive away?
Yeah. But right now we can walk
It's
there.
not too bad.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
why I
like,
was late. I was
well, you know,
there.
10,
Oh, yeah, like I was saying,
10 to 15
I
minutes.
was yeah, 15 minutes is not too much. But it can stretch
Yeah.
out a little bit longer if there's traffic. Where I live, there's too much traffic. Do they have traffic in Ireland?
Oh, yeah, not as bad as America, or like, it depends on it depends on where you're from, of course. Yeah, there's traffic. It's nothing like, I kind of live like 1 hour and 10 minutes away from Dublin, so I'm very rarely in traffic. But yeah, some
Oh,
occasionally I'm in traffic. Occasionally, not very often though. But
oh,
it's
that's
pretty
nice.
wild in traffic
Okay,
behind loads of cars.
okay.
But yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been to Europe twice. No, 3 times. Been to Europe three
Oh,
times.
have you?
I like it. It's nice.
Well, that's a fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't really spend any
different
time in
places.
England and Ireland though.
Were you in Ireland?
No, no. I would like to go.
Mhm.
I imagine it's very beautiful.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's very pretty, picturesque, greenery. It's nice, nice country. People are friendly.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people have descent.
Do you have a good growing season? Do you grow
Not
your own
really.
food?
No. I'd like to do a
No.
bit more, but it's very poor. Very poor. Like, it's not a lot of sun. Like, even now it's summer. Like, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
not exactly the best here. So yeah, we're definitely, yeah. We want to try and avoid the winter. To be honest, as the winter can be 6 months long almost. So summer is not very, very, very sunny. Ireland,
uh,
just if, yeah, if the weather nicer, it'd be a lot better. But, what can you do? You can't complain too much, but you don't want to complain too much at all, really. But acknowledge it as well. So, it would be nicer when it's sunnier, like you say, in Arizona. Sometimes it's
uh,
nice to have the warmth instead of coldness or frosty.
yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
I'd like to take a vacation too. I haven't really done that in a long time.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be nice
um,
with the family.
uh, actually, yeah, maybe like half family, half solo. As I was hiking yesterday, there's a few places I really want to like go, and it's a little tough to bring my kid and my wife.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With the hiking, of course, of course.
Um,
Yeah, I hear
like
you. Yeah, dad's life and mum's life, and then the family life, and
uh,
and the mum and dad together life, the relationship life.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like some people, they're super into outdoor recreation, you know. That's like
Yeah,
their religion, and sometimes I feel like it's my religion too. You know, it makes me feel so good.
I
Uh,
know. It's
and
amazing.
uh, and so then their wife and husband, they're like doing that stuff together, but my wife is more like a homebody. And I don't know. We got married. It was more like we have this like connection with Hare Krishna together, and then that was enough, I guess. So, but um, but she's kind of like, yeah, she doesn't mind if I go. Sometimes she gets a little irritated if I'm gone too long.
I
Uh,
know. You're speaking to me. It's same with my family, my relationships. Well, yeah. Yeah. I'm
uh,
a huge outdoor person. I love everything about outside, pretty much. Like, I love all the elements of nature, especially the sun, the warmth, the light, the dryness, the sunshine. Like, I
uh-huh.
like the air on my skin, the sun on my skin. I like to see the clouds, and I love walking in nature, and I love nature so much. Beaches, forests. anything, whatever. Even like Arizona has like nice landscape there. But this is an
Yeah.
interesting topic because, you know, I guess it falls into the idea of like compatibility and incompatibility and what can be compromise, what can be like not so much compromise where somebody loses, because in relationships you want a win-win situation and not a win, you don't want a win-lose situation. You want a win-win situation with all the family as much as possible.
Hmm.
So um I think it's also called the zero sum game, which I don't know why it's called that. But anyway, have you ever heard of that? Zero sum?
No.
And it's probably better just to forget about that because hardly anyone's ever heard of that, including myself when I first heard it. But like with the whole compatibility thing with nature, like someone like somebody likes music and the other person doesn't like music, is you have to figure, can it be worked into the relationship to a certain degree, or even like can I cope and can I live with it being fully excluded? Like, because for some people might like, here's an example: someone loves rock climbing, it's their life. Could they be with a partner who isn't into rock climbing? Maybe some could, but some of them totally couldn't. They just totally want a rock climber to share their life with. Rock climbing, going out to these mountains and canyons and this and the other. Whereas maybe some person could be like mad into music and like be a performer or musician and on stage, but they kind of, some maybe could cope and maybe okay if their partner wasn't into music, but maybe various amounts of people would say, "Nah, I'm only compatible to be in a relationship with someone who's into the music a lot too." And if they date someone or they're with someone and they're not, then they might have to like say, "This just doesn't work out." But with nature, the thing is like, can we go sometimes, like once a week, twice a week, once a month, half an hour, once or twice a week, or whatever the case would be, some sort of negotiation or agreement or general idea of like just sharing a little bit of time together in nature and how good that would feel. And if that's not like a lose for the person who is not as into it as much, but be a win-win, but it just sometimes like a smaller amount of win-winning than how much you might love it or I might love it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Mhm. What's a deal breaker? What's not a deal breaker, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, she'll go, but maybe like just set up a picnic and stay there, and then I'll go do my hiking and come back. No.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think she's getting also a little more
Like,
active because she's also eating a little lighter. She's also feeling it too, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
mm.
lovely. Yeah,
And I told her about
yeah,
that
that's
herb.
nice.
I told her about that herb you told me. I can't pronounce it. How do you say
Just
it?
Shatavari,
Shapravari.
organic shot.
Okay, okay.
I
I
can
should have
send you a
written it
link.
down.
The best
Yeah,
one that I
please.
know of. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, it's great. It's
I
good for
feel
men.
like, yeah, I feel like we should just give 1 year to like cleansing and then maybe reevaluate if we're ready. But I think 1 year of cleansing and then maybe a little bit of time with that herb,
Yeah.
then perhaps we could conceive.
You know what?
And then we would have a 10 year gap between our first kid and our second, though. But it might be
You know
nice
what?
too, you know?
Yeah, sure. 9 years, 10 years is not going to make much of a difference. They'd be most compatible probably if they're like 3 or 4 years, like between 1 and 4 years difference, sort of.
Uh-huh.
But 9 or 10 years is still going to be in different wavelengths of their brain development and personal development. So it doesn't really make much difference. But yeah, like in terms of preparing for like a baby, it's actually really good to cleanse out your body out of toxins and acids and garbage and waste and all that. It's very good. It's definitely better for the health of the baby for sure, including the breast milk as well. So the baby will be growing up in the mummy's body, so it's really important, especially for the mom, to clean out her body as well. But it's
Right.
also important for dad to clean out his body as well. But especially the woman, but both important, preparing like physically as well as all other areas, like if financially you need to, or practical stuff about living arrangements, having a bedroom, enough bedrooms or whatever else. And obviously just, mental, emotional maturity and healing really helps parenting ability.
Yeah.
So physical, of course, you more energy, live longer with your kid, but at least when they're a baby, you can have more energy if you're healthier. And the less attachments or addictions or habits we have that we're craving and needing, that distracts us a bit. I'm just saying, like everything adds up. So we're more present and
Mhm.
available for our kids. We're less distracted by our cravings and addictions or habits that we haven't resolved. and they may
Right.
be physical, but they pretty much usually stem emotionally predominantly and mentally, especially emotionally from our
Yeah.
past and our childhood. So there's definitely a big like healing or clearing up act that we can do, body, mind, spirit, and emotion, to prepare to be the healthiest parent or to a newborn, and to the kid for the rest of our life. We can keep improving our body and mind and spirit and emotions. So it's really important.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure our eggs or sperm will be healthier too if the more we nourish our body and clean out our body from toxins. It's just, of course, it's going to be everything will be healthier. So yeah,
Yeah.
give the baby the best chance from the beginning.
Yeah. Our son, he nursed until he was 4 years old.
Ah, yeah, nice. Yeah, that's very good. Mhm.
And he only stopped because she got a little sick and then she had to take some antibiotics and they said don't nurse if you're going to take this medicine and you have to take the medicine. It's kind of
Yeah.
such a shame, you know? I
Ah,
think back then I wasn't quite as like interested in detoxification or, you know.
yeah.
But our
As is the
son,
case.
we didn't give him any vaccines at all also.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear you. Get you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He's never had
Lovely.
antibiotics either.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're antibiotics are very harmful. So even the words like anti-life, like antibiotic, like not probiotic, antibiotic. Yeah, they're very
Right.
harmful, destructive for the body and the intestines. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've heard pretty bad stories from antibiotics and even surgeries that are unnecessary as well, especially if they're unnecessary, which the vast majority of surgeries are unnecessary unless you're in a big car accident and you need to be sewn back together or put back together. But pretty much most suggested surgeries can be completely avoided by just going on a juice feast or switching to a raw vegan diet or and taking enzymes and maybe even some herbs or supplements. Like completely and utterly, most things can be just dealt with at the root cause instead of like cutting things out or that type of stuff, or taking general stuff that's recommended by certain people in power.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to be too bad, but yeah, a lot of it's like completely destructive and unnecessary and time consuming when you're sick and recovering afterwards, and also money consuming as well. Yeah, but it's all about
I
knowledge.
see.
Knowledge
Yeah,
is
I
power.
see. Yeah, definitely. And teaching all these swim lessons, I see a lot of different kids, you know. And
Yeah,
even I worked with a lot of kids which are on the autism spectrum. And I mean, I'm not trying to like be controversial or anything, but it probably
yeah.
has something to do with, they got like too much stuff when they were babies, you know.
There's definitely been there's been a link to what injections and stuff like that with and heavy metals, which are in those things they put in the arm, etc. There's definitely been a link with like the heavy metals and heavy metal poisoning and toxicity with autism and those type of behavioral issues or cognitive issues. Yeah, I think a huge amount of people know that, but obviously a huge amount of people don't know that. But yeah, you can try and detox out of your kids too, or if or an adult. Yeah, definitely detox a lot of chemical and toxin poisoning out of your body. Thankfully, things like cilantro or coriander, as is known in Europe, with chlorella, and definitely just probably the best all rounder is just going on a juice feast. But not everyone will do that. But that's like rapid improvement and detoxing and nourishing all at the same time. Obviously, the supervised water fasting or intermittent water fasting you can do, which we've covered upon in previous videos. And then just stuff like raw vegan diet and getting your greens and fruits in, they'll have definitely help cleanse and bind to toxins and heavy metals and clean the intestinal tract. And things from the rest of your body will then seep into your intestinal tract. And the more we nourish and hydrate and alkalize, our overall whole body and organs will help get a chance to clean out, not just our intestinal tract. Yeah, our breathing will like get rid of toxins, which breathing does in the lungs, as well as peeing or bowel movements. So, yeah, bodies and sweating, they're all our main elimination channels. People even
Yeah.
eliminate nose, mouth, eyes, and you know, vagina for women as well. People eliminate from every little like orifice or wet part in our body. One of my
Uh-huh.
friends, like, he did fruits for just like I think 2 weeks almost. Juicy fruits, like he wasn't having bananas, dates, or or durian or avocado. It was just juicier type of fruits, and he ended up like eliminating like stuff in his head area because the iridology shows like he has like head like congestive issues in his lymphatic system as well as the rest of his body, but quite a fair bit in his head region. And he ended up getting like a waxy, like one of his ears kind of got blocked. One of his ears did with like what was coming out of his ear. But then he sort of stopped the juice, the fruit to cleanse, and it got sort of stuck there. So it's like you're moving something out, then you stop, and then it's stuck there. So he's thinking he's going to have to go on something juicy and liquidy and light, so he can
Uh-huh.
allow it to move out fully instead of like half eliminated, half stuck. But the poor fella, his other ear thing also got sort of stuff gradually getting out into the inner or middle part of his ear, and now he's like his hearing is like isn't as 100% as it usually is at all. So
Uh-huh.
he knows so much. Like he's a really great lad. Like he's 26 now. He's a cool guy. He's like my little brother, tall and slim like
Uh-huh.
me too. You know?
Oh,
He used to get called Jake, and I've called you Jake two other times now. I think I
okay.
told him calling Blake Jake. I didn't do it this week.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. All yeah, life is just interesting all around. You know, it just fascinates me, makes me giggle. I find myself like sort of giggling at life more these days in a happier demeanor since I've been having like all. I've been pretty much almost having all raw, maybe like 99% raw with only one hot soup all year, warm soup. You know, just
Uh-huh.
out there was closed in the shop, so I just joined my friend who's having a vegan soup, vegetables blended, no big deal. I didn't have any cravings for anything afterwards anyway. But except for that, I've had like no warm food all year, and I've been pretty much 99% raw all year, except for a bit of peanut butter and a bit of vegan ice cream. But that's that's I don't know. That's not exactly just coconut milk or cashews. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, so just basically all raw all year. Like and last week, I've been just really enjoying like 90% liquids, and I think with the more 90% liquids, I just feel like more jolly. I just find
Uh-huh.
like I'm more like a giggle at life and the amusement of all the drama and like the madness of it all.
You don't have
Like
any
even
you don't have any worry or anxiety?
I I do, yeah, like of course. You know, it's I've been working on my worry and anxiety in the last month and in the last week because of what I've been working on it. I've been letting go of my sort of my need to have this or my hope that this doesn't happen, you know, because
Uh-huh.
they're like it's like this little phrase like your commitment to you're gonna your commitment to suffering happens from needing this or hoping that this doesn't happen. It's like your
Oh, right.
commitment to
Yeah.
your
Yes.
because you're focusing on needing this thing to happen, or you're hoping and needing this other thing not to happen. Sometimes we all just gotta like, and I just gotta go ease up on what I really want. So it doesn't become like I need it and I'm desperate. But you have to sometimes like that'll help the flow of the universe allow it to possibly happen. But you can't sort of powerhouse forced it and like force others to think or want the way you want or think as well either, you know. So um yeah, no, I have every emotion, you know, I have every emotion as you know already. You don't need me to tell you. But I'm definitely in a much more healed place now than I was a year ago. I was told I started this lifetime, at least ending my childhood, the age of 8, with around 52% trauma and psychological impairment. They say the max is around 71% or so. Um, I had 52. I had a lot of trauma, but you know, not as much as others per se, but I had a significant amount. My friend who told me this is claircognizance, so she gets knowing or information from her higher self or spirit guides. She was told that she has 60%. I have 52, and someone else she knows, and I know other people more than 60 for sure, close to the whole 70 mark. And that means like as much as 70% or 60, for my case, 52% of my psychological like well-being or like my psyche, my mind, my brain, like my psychological state and emotional like trauma stored in the body through like suppressed or like upset and unprocessed anger, fear, anxiety, rejection, abandonment, like feeling or being taught or told that you maybe you're not good enough or you're not worthy or you're lacking or you don't
Yeah.
deserve this or you're a bad child or you're a bad person or you're wrong or you're flawed. There's like huge, massive amounts of ways we can be traumatized and that affects us for life. it does affect us for life until we manage to heal it and face it and feel it, re-feel it, what we felt that's been stored and stuck within us. It's a bit like
Yeah.
wax and coming out of our ear. Emotions come out and we feel them again. What and when they're in the process of leaving us finally, once and for all. So we
Yeah.
feel. So it's a huge, massive issue, and that's like I'm really into this big time. This is my main like topic of helping people in the world. Um, so yeah, I was told when I started my healing journey at age 24, I'd only healed out of the 52%, I'd maybe healed maybe 10% max, maybe even less.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But in the last year, I've totally now I've healed 63% of that 52.
Wow.
But in the last year, or last 6 months, even to a year, I've healed maybe like maybe 10 to 18%. I know closer to 15 to 18%. So I know there's been a big transformation in the last year in me, or even just truly this year. But it's probably leaking into last year, but really mostly just this year. So the last 6 months or less. So yeah,
Was
I'd love
that
to get into
painful?
that. What?
Is that is that painful?
Healing.
Yeah.
No, no, healing is great. But yeah, it can feel painful, definitely. For me this year, it didn't feel painful but it definitely can feel very uncomfortable, just depending on what's coming up, how fast and how ready or capable or used to feeling your emotions you are. Because most of us live in a very strong habitual state of avoiding our emotions or trying to shove our emotions under the carpet. We lie to others that we're not feeling sad or upset or stressed or angry or upset with them, or
Yeah.
we lie to ourselves and others that we're feeling shame or guilty or bad or low self-esteem or anxiety. We just like lie and deny and pretend and try and avoid, and we disown. We almost try and like separate it from us. Like, no, I don't feel that way. Disowning instead of owning. Instead of loving, we disown and push away how we're really feeling, and as a vulnerable, scared, hurt little kid in us from childhood that we haven't embraced and faced and felt. So this creates like gigantic relationship hurdles and issues, and emotional issues within us first, and mental issues within us first as well.
Oh, I
So
can see it. I can see it in myself as you're explaining.
it's
I
huge
know.
on
Yeah.
so many levels. It's very, 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 very big thing. Uh yeah. So this is like I love this topic. Maybe we could talk about more next time. This do, you don't have
Yeah.
like we're kind of like it's been going on 58 minutes now, but you're not like going off early to work today or nothing.
No, I need to run. I'm looking at the time and I'm like feeling anxiety too. But I want to send you one interview. Maybe you heard it. I don't know. But there was this woman who was she's a she's like a detox specialist now too for Dr. Morse. And she
Yeah.
got in a really bad car wreck. And she's interviewed
Mm,
by another person that's connected with Dr. Morse and had just been doing a big juice feast. And they
yeah.
talked about her experience. And she could like barely walk. She couldn't play sports. She could hardly do anything. And then just
Yeah.
by eating raw and doing juice fasting, and maybe some herbs from Dr. Morse, she uh,
Yeah.
she completely cured herself when doctors said you're not going to be able to, do these sports anymore. And but what the thing was, she said that she had to like completely go through again like the memories and the like experience of being in the car wreck, and that kind of
Yeah.
like healed her body.
Oh, this is Magdalena. She lives in Hawaii, right? She's a blonde girl, and I think that's her, is it?
It could be,
No?
yeah, I think so. I could be.
But yeah, reliving. Yeah, yeah. And even when you're doing juice feasts, you loosen up not only physical matter, but because emotions are stored in the physical body, when you loosen up physical matter, including affecting our cells, sometimes the stored blocked emotion comes out as well. So literally sometimes
Yeah,
doing a juice feast, you just burst out crying or feel really, really sad or like lonely or scared or vulnerable. Emotions come up. And that's great. You're clearing some of your trauma that you've gotten to start off in this lifetime that your soul pretty much agreed upon too. So it's
yeah,
great to make emotional progress because the more I find, the more I make emotional progress, which is combined with the mental too, because they run hand in hand, but it's predominantly emotional.
Yeah.
What will happen is because our emotions control our mind more than our minds control our emotions. I feel like we become out of control mentally when we're in deep emotions, where it's more likely that we're more likely to lose control of our mind when we're very emotionally, rather than lose control of our emotions when we're lost in our mind. We don't usually become lost in our mind. We usually become lost in our emotions. We usually get lost in our mind because of our emotions. So when we deal with our emotions, which is the main thing, which is also a very physical experience because that's what emotions are. What happens is our diet improves and it becomes easier. So it's really, really, if you want to improve your diet,
Uh-huh.
also bear in mind, not only will diet help you emotionally to heal because it'll help you to feel instead of the numb, but it'll help you release old stored emotions, stuck emotions. So, but when you
Right. Yeah.
just simply focus on not even the diet per se at all, but when you focus on that too, of course, but when you put a lot of focus on your emotional healing and mature emotional maturity, your spiritual, mental, emotional maturity and well-being and healing and growing and evolving and expanding, what will happen is there's a huge knock-on effect to how you think about and feel about food and your relationship with habits, patterns, and addictions of any kind in your life, no matter what it is, even if it's not food, it could be anything, including food. So when you focus on the non-food stuff and get to the healing, the crux of the matter, diet, your relationship with food and life and diet and drinking and detoxing in your body, it'll all change little by little as you heal emotionally and gain awareness and grow on all these ways. So it's funny, you can literally, it's a double compound effect. It's amazing. So it's really important to do the inner work, and this is what I teach in my group, etc., and my books and my video courses. There's 11 video courses for free. Past all these past live calls are on my community, and as
Uh-huh.
well as these like new group weekly calls as well. It's just amazing. Like, who doesn't want to have a better relationship with food where they feel more in control and they actually feel better after the food and they really enjoy the food and it's exciting and fun and you feel great and you're more productive with your work, your family, your kids, you're happier in life, you're less stressed. You still have these
Yeah.
lessons in life. They're just like definitely easier for sure.
Yeah.
It's much easier. It's still hard for sure sometimes, but it's definitely made a lot easier. You're just much more an empowered state of control and empowerment when you do the inner emotional work, and it makes life way easier with food. It's less of a struggle. It's more easy and happy. So incredible.
Wow.
We must get
Well,
into
thank
this,
you
and
so much.
I'd love to talk maybe some ways, paths, avenues in which we can go about our own mental, emotional healing from past trauma, and grow in maturity and empowerment.
Yeah, me too. I'm all about that. This is the
Great
summer
topic.
of cleansing my emotions and my body. It's the summer of
Yeah,
swim lessons, cleaning my emotional body and my physical body, and having
yeah,
great
yeah.
relationships.
It's great. Well done. Good job.
Uh, yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Owen.
Yeah, man. Lots of love, brother. Nice to connect with you today.
Okay. Take care. Thank you. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah, pleasure. Nice to connect with you too. Yeah. I'll see you next week, okay? Have a nice week until then.
Yeah, absolutely. You too.
Cheers. See you.
Sure.
Bye bye.